Algebra kids, this is lesson number 1. You get to be my very first one. Haven't done any other classes yet, so I guess congratulations for that. Hope your weekend went well, or whenever you're watching this, and encourage you to just let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what you're struggling with. I was thinking, I know we have our online meeting times. If you have a specific, if you're working on a question and you have a specific, you want to get it done, you want to figure out what you did wrong, what I'll need from you is just shoot me an email or a text with a picture of the work you've done yet so far, along with the question number that you have or a copy of the question. But I need to see the work that you've done, and I can just shoot back pretty quick, hey, maybe this is what you did wrong, or this is the error that you made, and then we can take care of it that way if you don't want to wait for the class time. If you're kind of having overall just kind of blank, I'm not quite sure how to get started or what to do with this, first of all, I encourage you to just try to figure some things out. You'll have to put in some effort on your own, and don't be afraid to get it wrong the first time or second time or whatever. Just try it and work to learn it. You'll have these resources. You'll also have the Big Idea examples on the Big Idea Math website. You can just go to Khan Academy YouTube, type in any of these topics, and you can get some more examples with that. So right now, I'm going to first of all put my phone on silent so that doesn't disrupt us. And also I'm going to just set a time limit. I'm going to try to keep these under 15 minutes. So I'm going to set it for 12 minutes. And here we go. We'll see if I can get this done in that. You're going to rush me. So before the break, I asked you to do page 203 in your student journal. These are the answers to this worksheet. Now, the nice thing about video is you can pause and go on and check it with the pause video. Hopefully that works. But main thing we're doing on the top is combining like terms. So these are just like labels that you might have, 5x and 3x. 5 plus 3 is 8, so 8x then minus the 6. So you're combining like terms. This one was 8s, 4s, and 5s, so 8 plus 4 minus 5 from in front. Remember, the minus is a negative. And then combine the negative 4 and the 6. Down here, and we'll see this, is distributing. So the 3 has to be multiplied by the h and the 4. So 3 times h, 3 times 4, negative 3 times h, negative 3 times negative 4. A lot of times that's the one people forget, the negative times the negative. So that'd be a positive 12 at the end. Negative 3h, a positive 12 there, and a positive 3h. Here the 3's cancel off. So you do not have an h. Do not put h plus 24. That would be a 1. It's not a 1, it's a 0, so it's gone. 12 plus 12 is 24. Common factors. The official way to do it is you're looking for the lowest exponent of every common prime factor. So if I do a factor tree for 24, I get 2 cubed. I get 3 2's, 1, 2, 3, and a 3. So 2 cubed times 3. Factor tree for 32 is 5 2's. So they have a common factor of 2. The lowest exponent is a 3. 3 is smaller than 5. So a common factor of 2, do 2 cubed, and that is 8. So that's your greatest common factor. So you can check these. 30 is 2 times 3 times 5. 55 is 5 times 11. Those are all prime numbers. So the common factor is 5, so it's 5. And that even works for 3 digits. So 42 is 2 times 3 times 7. 70 is 2 times 5 times 7. And we have 2 squared times 3 times 7. So common factors are 2. And then we have a 7 as well. So 14, 2 times 7. Okay, so that leads us into a lot of polynomials. These examples here, these are what they call algebra tiles. If you like to play with manipulatives or things that you can move around, you can just Google algebra tiles, and you can find some applets or some websites where you can play around with these. The tall vertical ones represent x's. The single ones represent 1's. So you have 3 tall ones and 2 single ones. That's 3x plus 2 because it's 2 positive ones. This would be x minus 5. You have an x and a minus 5. So playing around with those is a resource we have. We don't have time for that right now. So. Okay. So 7-1, a lot of terminology. Look over this terminology. They'll have some questions with it. Okay. So on another screen I have. Oops. Don't need that. I have your questions up here, so make sure, hopefully I cover everything in the time that we have. Okay, so monomials, polynomials. Poly means many. Nomials kind of means terms. So polynomials, many terms. Monomial is one term. Polynomial is many terms. Binomial is 2 terms. Trinomial, tri, is 3 terms. Okay, so that terminology is going to come up. The degree of a monomial, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Degree of a polynomial, standard form, leading coefficient, and the close we won't see too much. Okay, so here's your definitions. Hope if I zoom in, it will not let me zoom in on a video like this. Thought it would. No, so hopefully this is big enough, or you can enlarge your screen. But you can read it on your student journal as well. So a polynomial is a monomial. This you can read right there. Make sure you understand. There's all your terminologies. I'm not just going to read it to you. You can read it yourself. Okay, make sure you stop and look at it. Turn your phone off. Do not get distracted halfway through. You'll forget where you're at and you won't remember things as well. Okay, go back and write these definitions on this page. When you write stuff down, it helps you learn. Okay, so go back and write those definitions on here to help you remember them. Okay, but this is an example of a polynomial in standard form. So we have 2x cubed plus x squared minus 5x plus 12. The main thing is you notice the exponents count down. So the exponents must count down. The leading coefficient is the one that's in front, leading. It's the one that's leading. So the degree is going to be the biggest one. So that's what it says when it has a degree. Does it talk about degree of a polynomial is the greatest degree of its terms. So exponents count down. You have a constant term. This is called the linear term because if I cover that up, it makes a linear graph. That's a quadratic term. That'd be a cubic term. So when they say find the degree of a monomial, now first of all, a monomial has no plus or minus signs. You start adding those, you get into binomials and trinomials. The degree is going to be the sum of the exponents. Sum of the exponents. So if you have negative 6s, your exponent here is a 1. So the degree of this monomial is 1. Look at 2. You have a w. Your exponent is 1. Your degree here is 1. So it's just the exponent. The sum of the exponents here, you just have a single exponent. This is an 8. This has no variable. So remember, if I add x to the 0 power, anything to the 0 power equals 1. So your exponent here is 0, so your degree is 0. So if you do not have a variable, your degree is 0. 4, you have a to the first, b to the first, c to the first. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So you have an exponent of 3. 5, 7x squared y, you have an x squared and a 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. Now once you get the hang of this, feel free to pause before I get to the end and try to answer them, and then come back and you can check your answers once we're back in here. But you just go ahead and pause. I'm just going to keep on going. You can pause and do what you need to do. Try to figure it out without me telling you all the time. 2 plus 3 plus 1 is 6. 1 plus 3 is 4. Again, a constant. There's no variable, so the degree is 0. So those are the degrees of a monomial. Now, when you start adding and subtracting these together, you get a polynomial. So write the polynomial in standard form, identify the degree and leading coefficient of the polynomial, then classify the polynomial by the number of terms. So, standard form, you have to have the largest exponent first. The largest exponent first. Identify the degree. That's your exponents. And the leading coefficient, that's the one in front. Classify the polynomial by the number of terms. Is it a monomial, binomial, trinomial? If you get over trinomial, you just call it a polynomial. Okay, so standard form, you'd put this one first. 3x squared. So there's 2. Now you're going to put the x next, plus x, and then 5. So an exponent of 2, an exponent of 1, exponent of 0, x to the 0 power. So 2, 1, 0. Standard form, degree is 2, leading coefficient is 3, because it's the one in front there, and I have 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. 3 terms, so this is a trinomial. And they'll have questions just like that. They'll want those 4 different parts. Square root of 5 times y. So y to the first, this is already in standard form, so square root of 5 times y is how you write that. The degree would be 1, leading coefficient would be the square root of 5, and this is a single term, it's a monomial. Okay, 3x to the 5th plus 6x to the 8th. Biggest one first, so 6x to the 8th plus 3x to the 5th. I'm going to go way over my time with this, but well, I'll get all these examples to you at least, and you can stop and jump ahead and do what you need to do here. Your degree is 8, leading coefficient is 6, and this would be a binomial, because you have 2 terms. Okay, on to the third one, I look for my biggest exponent. It's right there, so f to the 4th comes first, and then I'm going to do the f squared followed by this 2 minus 2f. Your degree is 4, leading coefficient, the number in front of where you got your degree, so that's a 1, and this has 3 terms, so again, you're a trinomial. Okay, so that's the intro to the polynomials. You'll have several of those questions, and you just put in those 4 things, and then it goes into finding the sum. So find the sum. You want to combine like terms.
Hi, I'm all right. How are you?
I hear Mr. Taylor and Mrs. Hebert in the hallway. So you want to combine like terms, and if there's a plus there, if it's a plus sign, you can actually drop the parentheses. So you can write it negative 4x plus 9 plus 6x minus 14. So you can actually drop those. You're going to put the x's together, so I want negative 4 plus 6, that's going to be your x, and then I have a plus 9 minus 14, very similar to what we had back on the initial assignment from before spring break. So you get 2x minus 5 would be your final answer. And I want you to get to the point you can kind of do some of this in your head, but I'll write a couple more out. Negative 3 plus 7 will go together. That's going to be my a, and then I have a negative 2 plus 5. So I get 4a plus 3. That's the sum of 2 binomials. This would be the sum of 2 trinomials. Same process, you just have to look for the x squareds. The x's and x squareds are 2 different terms. X squared represents a different number than an x. So I'm going to put the x's together, so I get 1 minus 1, 1 plus a negative 1. So 1 minus 1 is the x squared. That's going to be 0, that's going to be gone. And then I'm going to take a 3 plus 6, that's my x's, 3x and 6x. And then plus 5 minus 4. So I get 9x plus 1. Final one, work it out. Oh, I see. Oh, I missed it. Hang on. I was trying to go too fast. So t cubed. So we have t cubed. We have a 3t cubed and a minus 2t cubed. So 3 minus 2. That's 12 minutes already. Okay. So 3 minus 2 is 1, so I get 1 t cubed. 3 minus 2, t cubed. Looking for t squared, I have a 1 plus 2 for my t squared, so that's plus 3t squared. And then I have a 7t by itself, so plus 7t minus 3. So I'm adding 2 trinomials, and I got a polynomial, something with 4 terms. This is where we're going to leave it right here. It's done. That's finding the sum, adding like terms. Finding the difference, you have to distribute the negative. Distribute the minus sign. So this goes to both parts, and when you do this, you can drop the parentheses. So g minus 4 minus a positive 3, so that's minus 3g. Now be careful, a minus times a minus would be a plus 6. So that is a plus 6 right there. So g minus 3g is negative 2g, negative 4g plus 6 is plus 2. You combine them just like we did with the sum then. So distribute the negative and then combine like terms. So use this as practice. This is going to help you learn. It's going to help you remember it. Don't let the assignments just be all you do with this, because when it comes time for next year, some of this stuff may not be as easily accessible for you in your brain because you haven't practiced it enough. So do these practice problems, and that way when you get to the assignment, you should hopefully feel pretty comfortable with it. So distribute, negative 5h minus 2 minus 7h minus 6. So negative 5h minus 7h, that's negative 12h. Negative 5 minus 7, negative 12h minus 8. Careful with your negative signs. Negative x squared minus 5. Okay, minus and minus 3. So that's plus 3x squared. Minus and minus x is plus x. Minus and minus 8 is plus 8. So I got my x squared, so that'd be 2x squared plus x plus 3. There's your x. Negative 5 plus 8 is the plus 3. So k squared plus 6k cubed minus 4 minus 5k cubed minus 7k minus a minus 3k squared, that's plus 3k squared. So I have k cubes, that's 1k cubed. They're done. Sometimes when I get big long ones, I'll cancel them off. It's kind of fun to cross them off, and then I know I'm done with them. I don't have to do them again. So k squared plus 3k squared, that's 4k squared. Minus 7k minus 4. Okay, so there's that page, and then the last one. Should have one more page. Can I leave it over here? I'll be right back. Okay, let's just check here. Maybe that is it. So your assignment, you're going to start. There's your find the degree of the monomials. This is find the degree of the polynomial. Put it in standard form, degree, leading coefficient, classification. There are your three terms. What is the degree? They give you a word problem. They just want the degree and the classification. And find the sum, find the sum, find the sum, find the difference, find the difference. Simplify. Okay, we did these at the beginning. You distribute, and then you combine like terms. Those are the ones we saw clear at the beginning. 203, 205, 206, 207, 208. Yep. So distribute and simplify, those would be your last three. 208 is that next one. Yep. So that's it. Again, if you have any questions, screenshot something to me, take a picture of what you've worked on, what you've written out. I can pinpoint it and get back to you right away if it's something a little bit bigger, and we can probably wait till our Zoom meeting on Tuesday. So if you're going to be on a personal device, make sure you have the Google Hangout Meet app, not just Hangouts, but Hangout Meets. Have that app installed on your phone or device. Let's go back to this. Okay, and oops, no, that. Ooh, I can do a time lapse. Okay, I got to play around with this some more. And how can I can make myself bigger? Oh, there you can see me. Hey, like the sticker? Woo-hoo. Stay blue, we're strong. So I will let you go for now, and we will see you on Tuesday, or if you have questions, just feel free to ask. Okay, I'm thinking of you all, and let me know what I can do to help you.